and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. With 4 race starts, we're going to start with our Category 4 riders, then 3, 2 and 1. Our riders lined up in yellow, that is our Category 1 riders, in green our Category 2, in blue Category 3 and Category 4 in red. All out and clear, all up and running, looking good at the moment. Really impressive that the groups at the moment, I mean, Category 3 is spread all over the place again. We've seen that. We saw that with Category 4. Yeah. We're seeing that with Category 2. The finals, yet again, are putting the pressure on the riders. Piccolo leading, Johnson, Bergin, Alvarez in the mix behind. Will they be able to pull back at Piccolo? Has she gone too hard too soon? The second group of chasers going faster than the chasing group, going faster than the leaders there because the pressure was on. But the problem is that they're all giving ground to the leading group. That was 6 watts per kilo coming from Karolina Ciezykowicz. Ciezykowicz has got the gap at the moment. She's opened it up, but Fink responds and comes back on her heels. Over the top she goes. This is the gantry coming. This is the finishing line. Fink side by side with Ciezykowicz. Ciezykowicz with the legs. Ciezykowicz takes it just on the line. Catherine Fua should be enjoying this. We're looking for a smile on her face because she's going to come to the line. This is the finish. Look at that. Catherine Fua punches the air in delight. She times it to perfection. Your winner of the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club qualifier race number 2, Catherine Fua. 300 meters to go, and now Bergin is in trouble because Johnson has kicked again. Herrera has gone with her there at 7 watts per kilo.
Well, Bergin's
for
coming.
Herrera.
Bergin's coming at 7 watts per kilo. We're on screen with Rosa Herrera. Can she take Rebecca Johnson? That's the finish line. They're side by side. It's Herrera and Johnson as Herrera comes over the top. I think that's Rosa Herrera.
Holly Bergin chose her moment. She bridged from Brighton to the race a leader. She left her for dead at the side of the road. She put her in the gutter. Bergin is going to come through to take victory in the MyWhoosh Race Club. It's our Sunday Race Club. It's a win for Bergin in our final.
Hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It's Sunday, the 1st of September, and here for qualifier race number 1 with me, Emma Martin. Well, I am really looking forward to today because both the men and the women are heading to the MyWhoosh world. Well, I say that, take a look at this. It is going to be fantastic. So 35 kilometres of racing for our women today, 437 metres of climbing, and as you can see, constantly changing terrain today. So along the way, after a very fast flat then downhill run for the start, 3 200-metre segments, 3 climbs, but they are all short. The longest climb today, 1.6 kilometres in length with an average gradient of 3.2%. This is going to be a really punchy course today, and I'm really interested to see how these women are going to race it. Well, our first riders up and out of the start pen today will be our Category 4 riders in those red jerseys. On the team list today, Petit Four, ever present, Nikki Lloyd and Simone Francis representing the Petit Four squad today. Francis took a 4th place in that final last week. They are always there or thereabouts. 36 riders down in that start pen. Well, away go our Category 4 riders for September. The Sunday Race Club is underway. Well, Katie Bago leading them out at the moment, out of the start pen. As I said, at the map view, flat start, then straight into a downhill section at around 200 metres. And Bago really pushing out the start pen here. Interesting to see these race tactics from Katie Bago as they take that right-hand corner. So Bago, Sarasu, Alvarez, Idzik, Fielder, all in this race field today. Now, talking about this race field today, 36 riders on the start sheets. That one team, the Petit Four squad, being represented here. But it really is a strong race field today. Thompson, Bellet, Lenore, Bogren, Vink took a 3rd place last week. Hamilton took 2nd. Bago took that 5th place, and Petra Aiken took 1st place last week in the final, while Tanglian is here, Ferron Tan as well. Nikki Lloyd rolling to the front of this group at the moment on this downhill section. Now, we said this is going to be a fast start. They're just shy of 60 kilometres an hour at the moment. And there is indeed a stretch on the group because Katie Bago really went out of that start pen hard. So our category 4 riders pushing fast early on. We're in with Natalia Idzik. She's right in the mix in this front group here in this category 4 race, exactly where she needs to be. There's a real tail to this group already, and that's because a very fast start and the momentum of the downhill that came at 200 meters really stretching the category 4 group. You can see that on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. It's a long line of category 4 red jerseys. They are about, well, I say that, they are about to start to concertina back together with tighter groups. But are we going to see this all come back together again? I don't think so. So as our category 4 leading bunch continue to push up these short, sharp, steep kickers, and this is what this course is going to be like today. So 35 kilometres of racing for the women today. Lots of short, sharp bumps on this course. 3 main climbs. We go up Mushroom Grove twice, a short lap and then another short lap of that same piece of road. It's a 1.6 kilometre climb with an average gradient of 3.2%. Now, that comes at 4K and 9.4K. And then win with Nikki Lloyd there. You can see Nikki part and parcel of this front group. They are at 2.1 kilometres into this race at the moment. They're going to go through the Mushroom Grove sprint, then onto the Mushroom Grove climb. They're then going to descend off of that climb and back up it again before they then move out into the rest of the course. And the rest of that course, after that 10-kilometre segment, really rolling and bumpy with some very short, sharp kickers. So it is going to test of our riders today, even though just 437 metres of climbing overall. So Nikki Lloyd, you can see there in her kit on our screen. Great to put a face behind the avatar, not just a little shot into the pain cave, but you can also see her performances, her top performances this year in 2024. And she's finished 2nd in category 4 a number of times. She's not yet taken the top spot, but I'm sure that will not be long out of Nikki's reach. Well, Nikki Lloyd, one of the very strong category 4 women who take part week in, week out on the Sunday Race Club. If you want to join her, head over to MyWhoosh.com. Get on the platform, get riding. Over 700 training plans are available and multiple events and community rides. There's lots for everybody. Well, talking about everybody, the blue jerseys are down in the start pen. These are our category 3 riders. One team on the list today, Grind My Gears. Angel Ann Hadlock and Tanya Holweiler, part and parcel of that squad. On the start line with 38 category 3 riders in total. It's a huge race field today in the Women's Sunday Race Club. 136 riders in total on the start sheets today. And the category 3 race field, well, I was going to say it's the largest, but it's not. It's equal largest with category 2. The green light of go, and away are our category 3 racers. De Gracia, Hadlock, Holweiler, all in the mix here. Gina Van Rossum in here as well as Nina Dowling. They're pushing on now. Takova in the mix as well. Takova has had some really strong race performances last month throughout August. In the mix in that top 5. In fact, she took 5th place in the final last week. Now, Piccolo took 2nd last week with a phenomenal battle with Isabella Bryson and Holly Bergin. Holly Bergin taking the win, but moving up now to Category 2. So leaving the front of the field a little bit wider open, and I'm sure riders like Takova, Johnson, Elos are all going to try and take that top spot, and Piccolo as well. Now, is this going to be Piccolo's course? She's a phenomenal climber, and the climbing is short and sharp today, not 6 or 7 kilometers of climbing. And you can see as we come through the Mushroom Grove here, the cave-like pictures with the fungi by the side of the road, really causing a stretch on this group as well. Now, this start is so interesting. The flat 200 meters followed by a kilometer of downhill, really causing a challenging start for our race categories today. So category 3 on the left-hand side of your screen, currently around 55 kilometers an hour. The smaller group of category 4 riders pushing on already. But take a look at the damage done already to this category 3 pack on this start. The bottom left-hand corner of your screen showing multiple groups of Category 3 riders already within 1,500 metres of the start line today. This downhill section, really a challenging start. Now, De Gracia, Kennedy, Johnson, Lopez, Jones, Herrero, all on the right side of this break, all in this leading group at the moment. And we're in with Rebecca Johnson. The fan is rolling, and you can tell that because the light is swinging in her pain cave. Well, she's up and at the saddle. This is one of those short, punchy climbs, and you can see it's punchy. 5% that kicks to before they went up and over the top. Very short in distance, but steep. And our riders are really going to feel these short, sharp efforts today. Kennedy, Hadlock, Fu, Johnson, Takova, Schultz, Jones, Chu, all in this leading group. It's a big leading group today as these riders move through, and our category 4 riders already through the first sprint segment of the day, coming at 2.9 kilometers into the course. So the Mushroom Grove sprint coming very early into the course to give us an indication of the damage being done by this fast start. So we can see in category 2 a much smaller number of riders going through that sprint together. Category 3, who I am in with at the moment, will very shortly be coming up onto that sprint segment at 2.9 kilometers. It's just a 200 meter sprint segment. In fact, all 3 sprints on this course are at 200 meters. We often see them at 3, but this course, 200 meter sprints. So it's great to be in the MyWhoosh world on the Sunday Race Club for the first time. You can see the vibrant colours here on the screen as our riders swoop round, and Catherine Montoya, look of concentration on her face as they go into the Mushroom Grove sprint for the first time. Pushing on through now, our Category 3 riders, not looking like anyone's picking up the sprint effort. New courses, I always think there's a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of watching to see what other riders do when we go into a new course, and often never the fastest time set on that course. Well, not till they've ridden it 2 or 3 times. So 24 riders in that leading group in Category 3. As we take a look at Category 2, they're going to be the next riders to start. No teams present today. Now, that team competition always coming at the end of the month. And with riders often changing categories, those teams often leaving it until the latter part of the month until they hold those together. So Hermansen and Penner dropping down from Category 1. Ultramarino moved up last month here, and Holly Bergin has moved up here into Category 2 today. So 38 riders down in the pen, and away they go. Category 2 are off and out onto the MyWhoosh world for the Sunday Race Club. This is Qualifier 1 for September, and this is a superb race field we have here today. So Hermansen and Penner dropping back down from Category 1. Ultramarino and Bergin coming up from Category 3. Now, Julia Walkenhurst took the win last week in the monthly final. Monica Rona took second. Jermaine Prado took third, Sarah Lundin took fourth, and Wendy McAlpine coming through for fifth place last week. Some great riding, and you can see, just like in our other categories, this is a fast and furious start, really getting the momentum rolling before that downhill section. Well, it's looking like we've got 4 riders really pushing on at the front of this category 2-pack. Lytton, Rona, Gonzalez, Rua and Walkenhurst. Philippa Hill at the moment really pushing hard to try and close the gap down. Hulberg as well in there too. But Walkenhurst right up and in the mix. Look at the stretch on that group. They've taken a watch of what's happened in Category 4 and Category 3. And well, talk about get up and roll fast. So we're seeing a bit of a split in this Category 2-pack already. Can they close it down? Because the riders in Category 3 and Category 4 never got back on after the split. Well, Kong is on the front. Walkenhurst, Davidson is there. Van Shaw, Bergin, Lytton, Hill, Ultramarino, Bulwara is in the mix as well. These riders absolutely pushing on. I see Anna Embring there, Poulsen there too. These riders with Vittori as well, all on the right side of the split. In fact, it's looking like it's only 1 or 2 riders who have not made the juncture back into this Category 2 group. It's a huge pack of Category 2 riders today. 38 riders on the start sheets, and less than 3 minutes of racing done, less than 2 kilometers, and well, the action has been fast and furious already. Gonzalez Rua up and out the saddle. We can see on the screen at the moment the shot into her riding area. She's on the screen on your view at the moment, and for viewers who have not joined us before, on the right hand side of your screen you can see the list of riders. Dorothy Gonzalez Rua highlighted in blue, indicating that's the rider we are in with at the moment. She's in the pack. Those are her stats. You can see in the bar on the middle top of the screen. So 188 watts at the moment, 235 in the green, indicating she's in the draft. When those numbers go white, indicates the rider is no longer able to take the draft at the moment. So 3 minutes now elapsed, her heart rate 158 and her cadence well over 100, because this pack, well, they are absolutely motoring and using cadence to ensure that these small rises and descents on the road, the small bumps along the way, she's covering the pace, she's lifting her cadence, she's staying in that pack. Well, at 2.5 kilometres into the race, this Category 2 pack, they've shed riders already in that early fast start. As they come through the Mushroom Grove, they're very, very shortly going to come into the Mushroom Grove sprint at 2.9 kilometres into the race. The leaders in Category 3 and the leaders in Category 4 already through that section. And 24 riders was indeed the number of riders in the leading group in Category 3. This is the sprint, and very shortly we're going to be able to get notification of how many riders are in the leading group in Category 2. Well, I can confirm Julia Walkenhurst is one of those riders in the mix in Category 2, and you can see her on the screen. Now, our riders have been dropping photos into MyWhoosh as well as more details, and you can see from Walkenhurst there, she's had some very strong performances this month, regularly in the top 5 in 2024 in Category 2, and whether that's the Passo Alto, a long climb at the end of the course, or Belgium, which is short and sharp. Now, being strong on the Belgium course, I think is going to give you a real advantage today, because I think this course is going to suit a punchy rider. Well, I can confirm, just taking a look at that sprint, we're looking at 32 riders still in that leading group in Category 2. Well, Category 1, it's a great list of riders today, and in that team list we've got the Chill Out crew with Manshandi. The Sweat Sensations are here, so are the Peak Performers and a Fito skier, and well, they're already up and out of the start pen. We're in with Bruni, Holdcroft, Tidholm, Soderstrom, Engstrom, McCarthy. Mary-Kate McCarthy taking her first win last week in the August final on the Sunday Race Club, taking that win from Catherine Fua, who finished in second place. Phenomenal racing Well, the pack now out of the pen, and it's looking like they are all sweeping through this course together, and not as strong a push on the front of this pack as we saw on the Category 2 race 3 or 4. So a much steadier start today from our Category 1 riders. Van Dijk, Sidlick, Bruni, Whitelaw coming up from Category 2 into Category 1 this month. Tilly Field is here. Maria Holdcroft, Catherine Fua is here, as well as Amelia Van Hove. This is going to be an interesting race. 24 riders on the start sheets today, those 4 teams. But this pack rolling steadily, I think, is the best way to describe this start today for Category 1. So as Category 1 continue now on this descent at the start, Category 3 and Category 4 leaders are up and over the Mushroom Grove climb, which is the first climb of 3 today on the course. In fact, our riders go up the Mushroom Grove climb twice. So Mika Soderstrom, part and parcel of this leading group. We can see her on the screen, the Swedish rider there, resplendent in her jersey. These riders, in fact, a large number of these riders who you are going to see today on the Sunday Race Club will be part and parcel of that World Championship semi-finals coming to you from MyWhoosh on the 6th of September. Keep your eyes peeled on social media and keep a check of the MyWhoosh website to find out more about those broadcasts and where you can watch more than 120 women on the World Championship semi-finals and over 130 men take to the start line that day as well. Well, they will be battling for the top 20 positions because it will be the top 20 men and the top 20 women who progress to the finals in October in Abu Dhabi. But today, well, there are 5 podium places for each of our 4 categories, and that's what our racers are battling for today. So Field, Engstrom, Van Hove, Bjarhead, Soderstrom, Bruni, Velt, McCarthy. The young rider Hannah Giannatti is in here as well. Catherine Fua is on our screens at the moment and highlighted in blue on the race field, part and parcel of this pack, keeping a good watch on what is happening. And interesting tactics to see what our riders do when we're faced with a new course, and the MyWhoosh World being available to ride at the moment on a season's pass. It is very, very new to the MyWhoosh group of worlds that are available for riders and racers, and it's going to be interesting to see what our women make of this course today. Well, all 4 categories on our race screen at the moment. Category 1 at 2.8 kilometres. Category 2 really now spread across the course. 5.9 kilometres of racing complete. Category 3 on the bottom left are coming up to 9 kilometres. Strong pack still there, but Category 4, well, it's looking like we've got a real break here. Isabel Alzat on the front, Ella Vink and Natalia Idzik chasing hard. They're at 11 kilometres now into the race. They're at the top of the Mushroom Grove climb for the second time. So 2 ascents of the Mushroom Grove climb for our riders today. And Hamilton, Alzat, Idzik, Vink and Bago, the first 5 riders over the top of the Mushroom Grove climb on lap 2. Those are the top 5 at the moment in Category 4. Well, that's Category 4. This is Category 1. They are through the Mushroom Grove sprint, but you can see that Category 1 pack not contesting the sprint at all. In fact, very content to roll through at around the 3.2 watts per kilo mark, which is where they were rolling. So Kelsey Jade Van Shaw takes the fastest time, 18.492 seconds. And that is the rest of the pack of the Category 2 racers behind Proust, Hibar, Bilwara, Jaramillo, Bonilla, Alberg, Prado, Thompson and Harmsen all in the mix. In fact, the first 30 places were taken by those Category 2 riders. The fastest rider in Category 3, De Silva, coming through in 31st place. Joanna Tidholm setting the fastest time, just leading that pack through in 33rd place for Category 1. And our fastest Category 4 rider, Petra Aitken, coming through in 49th position. Well, that was the start of the race. We are well and truly underway with our climbing already as Category 1 go into the base of the Mushroom Grove climb for the first time. This is short. It's 1.6 kilometres in length. It's got an average gradient of 3.2%, and you can see from the top right-hand corner of your screen, giving you the gradient at the moment, 2.7, that it started really, really gradually. It's ramped up 1%, 2%, 3%. We're now nearly at 5%, and it does indeed ramp very slowly, but it's just 52 metres of climbing overall. It's going to be interesting to see whether we see a push or an attack on the front from the Category 1 race. Well, McCarthy moving towards the front. Tidholm, Whitelaw, Sidlick, Fua, Giovanni all in the mix. Holcroft is there as well as Engstrom as well. These riders just now starting to dance on the pedals. In fact, Vicky Whitelaw just pushing over 6 watts per kilo there. So Vicky Whitelaw coming to the fore of this climb. This is going to be a really interesting course because a lot of the Sunday Race Club courses, really huge amounts of climbing. I mean, in August, the women's race went to Belgium for Qualifier 1. We were on the endurance climb for Qualifier 2. And then we went to California. We're here in the MyWhoosh world for the Sunday Race Club Qualifier 1 in September. It's a very different race profile, but we are starting to see riders getting distanced off the back there. Interesting to see that move because Field, Markman, Velt, Soderstrom, Giovanni all in the mix, but 1 or 2 riders getting dropped off the back. So still a strong race field that we can see in this Category 1 group. Holdcroft, Field, Engstrom, Kolkowitz is here as well as Bruni. So a real mix of riders in this leading group. We've got 2 riders just dropped off the back, and you can see Tilly Field on your screen at the moment, resplendent in that jersey, and her performances in 2024, you can see finishing around 10th position is her normal placing, and you can see she's been racing throughout July and August, and that's pretty much when she joined the Sunday Race Club. So with us for the last couple of months, really starting to get the feel of the platform and part and parcel of this leading group at the moment in and on the MyWhoosh world. This Category 1 pack continuing to move, continuing to climb. That's the top of the climb. I said it was short. It's short. Kolkowitz goes through over the top. McCarthy is there as well. And going to be interesting to see what time and pace our riders are pushing at. In fact, what is interesting is on my screen at the moment, it's still showing that the Category 2 riders went up the Mushroom Grove climb quicker than the Category 1 riders. And I'm not surprised about that because we saw the Category 2 riders really push hard at the start. They were absolutely motoring, and Sarah London setting the fastest time up the Mushroom Grove climb on lap 1, 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Now, it's going to be interesting to see if that time holds on the second ascent of the Mushroom Grove climb. Bonilla in 2, Prado in 3, Walkenhurst in 4, Davidson in 5, Carolina Kolkowitz from Category 1 setting the fastest time in Category 1, Gonzalez, Ruan, Embring from Category 2 in 7th and 8th, Soderstrom coming through for the second fastest time in Category 1, but Lisa Hermansen from Category 2 rounding out the top 10 on the climb. Pretty much most of the Category 1 pack coming through in the 20s into the early 30s. Then the rest of that Category 2 pack. Category 3 and Category 4 setting some strong times up that climb. But let's take a look and see if on the second ascent of that, the Category 1 race field starts to light the touch fire, or shall I say the touch paper, and light that fire and get up that climb quick at 3 minutes 3 seconds. Currently the fastest time on the Mushroom Grove climb. Well, we said Category 2 were pushing on and pushing on hard. They're at 10.4 kilometres into this race. They are on the Mushroom Grove climb for the second time. Rachel Kennedy from Category 3 currently holds the fastest time on here from Melissa Simpkin and Tanya Holweiler, Angel Hadlock and Rosalina Barragan. Those are the Category 3 riders who have already gone up and over here. Hamilton, Alza, Idzik, Vink and Bago, the fastest Category 4 riders on this second ascent of the Mushroom Grove climb. It's going to be interesting to see what these Category 2 women do as they continue to push up the climb. It's just shy of 6% at the moment. In fact, there you go, just over 6 on this steeper section. And this is the steepest section of this climb, kicking here to around 7.5% before it starts to level back off towards the top of the climb. So Category 2 on the left-hand side of your screen. Category 1, Category 4, the leaders on the road at the moment on the right-hand side of your screen. 15.6 kilometres into the race, and you can see Vink Alzat, Idzik Hamilton, 4 riders in the leading group. Katie Bago, 8 seconds behind. She's been distanced from this group. They're at 15.7 kilometres into the race. Now, following the second ascent of the Mushroom Grove climb, the course continually changing with lots of rolling sections, bumps, and short, sharp climbs. Really challenging for our riders. As we can see, Katie Bago has been distanced, but Kristen Hamilton in that polka dot skin suit, signifying that she's got the fastest overall time on the climbs in this category. At the back of that group at the moment, but just coming up alongside Natalia Idzik, Alzat and Vink. This is a really strong leading group in Category 4 and a group really capable of staying away. So the riders in the group really needing to be paying attention and really need to be concentrating to stay with them. So Category 4 are leaders on the road. These are the riders out of the start pen first. Category 4 started 5 minutes before Category 3, 10 minutes before Category 2 and 15 minutes before Category 1. They are the riders you can see at the top in yellow, Category 2 in green, Category 3 in blue, those Category 4 riders in red, and in the mix you can see the polka dot skin suits as well, and there are also green skin suits available for the riders leading the sprint competitions in each of those categories, and you can see that actually quite clearly in the Category 3 race field because the silver is in the pack in green. Category 3 coming up for the 15-kilometre mark. Category 2, they're at 12.3 kilometres. They are up and over that Mushroom Grove climb in time. Riding strongly now. Lisa Hermansen always goes well in Belgium. And for me, this is a very, very similar to the Belgium course that we use. Short, sharp, punchy climbs. In fact, the longest climb here is shorter than the longest climb in Belgium, but very, very similar. Not quite as steep as Belgium, so I think there'll be more competition in the mix here, but this should be a course that really does suit Hermansen in Category 2. So the leading group in Category 2, it was 24 riders. Now looking to be slightly less than that. We're seeing riders smattered back down the road on that bottom left-hand corner screen. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about 12 riders, 12 to 15 riders in this leading group. London, Gonzalez, Ruavan, Shaw, Hermansen, Smithers, Penner, Davidson, Lundin, all in here. Walkenhurst is here as well, just continuing to roll on the front as the Category 2 field now start to work their way through the back markers in the Category 3 field. It's going to be interesting to see whether any of those riders can jump into the group. I think the constantly changing nature of this course is probably not going to suit a lower category rider being able to jump in when a faster category passes. So on this downhill section at the moment, this pack rolling very, very smoothly. Interesting to see the damage done to this race field already within the first 14 kilometres of racing, but this leading group rolling really strongly. Now, the leaders in the Category 4 race, Vink, Alzat, Idzik and Hamilton on the climb out of the Celestial Shores sprint. Those riders, first riders through that section today. In fact, we can see the chasing group really pushing on as well behind. So Vink, Hamilton and Alzat, Idzik as well, setting good, strong times. But Tejeros, Lloyd, Fielder and Bogren are chasing in this Category 4 race. Bago, the rider that they are chasing, they're a little bit further behind. So Bago now at 30 seconds on this leading group of 4. Don't look over the side, especially if you don't like heights at the moment, because this stone bridge the riders are on at the moment, and it's interesting to see at the moment, we've got one rider, well, Hamilton, just needing to pay close attention to this group, because as they're pushing on this climb, it's just got dropped a little there now, back onto the group quickly, swiftly. 40 seconds back to Bago at the moment, a further 20 seconds back to the chasing group. It is a chase group, but these 4 looking strong at the moment as they push their way towards the top of this climbing section. Well, they're going to run along a rolling section to the 23.5 kilometre mark, which is where they come across the third of the day. Future City class, only 1 kilometre in length, with not too steep a gradient. So it's going to be interesting to see whether all 4 riders in this Category 4 race can hold together to the finish line. It's a strong pack of 4 there. Well, take a look at Category 1. The second ascent of the Mushroom Grove has indeed done some damage. Catherine Fuhr, Mika Soderstrom, Merle Bruni, McCarthy, Velt, all in here. This group have distanced, in fact, Carolina Kolkowitz, Marlene Bjarhed, 8 seconds back, those 2 riders. Engstrom a little further back as well, but these riders now starting to push on. They've utilised the second ascent of the Mushroom Grove. We saw the steeper sections of that climb go to 7%, and these riders utilising that second ascent to break the Category 1 race field and to form a smaller group now that is moving well and moving strongly. So McCarthy, Soderstrom, Holdcroft, Fuhr in here as well. These riders pushing on now and continuing to move in Category 1 at the head of that race field. Well, at the head of the Category 3 race field on the right-hand side of your screen is Angel Hadlock leading the charge. Rosalina Barragan, Johnson, Simkin, De Silva, Ellos, Holweiler and Kennedy, all in that group. So these riders in Category 3 coming in to the climb now. This is just one of the smaller climbs on the course at the moment. So at 18 kilometres, they've gone through that Celestial Shores sprint section, and they are moving on to the climb out of that area of the course. De Silva, Barragan, Johnson, Hadlock, Vasquez, Ellos, Simpkin, Holweiler and Kennedy. Those are the leaders in the Category 3 race. So 9 riders in the Category 3 race now moving at the front of the race. It's a big field. It's a big group. 4 riders leading Category 4, 9 riders leading Category 3, and this is Category 2. And at the moment, Sarah London and Lisa Hermansen, 2 riders pushing off the front here. So we said this was rolling terrain, and you are able to take an attack and to push on during these transitions. And at the moment, it's Hermansen and London. Prado now coming to the fore with Benilla on the front of the pack, but they're not really pushing on to chase. These 2 riders just putting a squeeze on. It's just 2 seconds at the moment, now 3, as they continue to work together. Well, Category 4 have moved into the Icelands. It's cold, it's snowing, but they are continuing to lead the race at the moment. Those 4 riders in Category 4, they're at 20.5 kilometres at the front of the race field. Category 3, they're coming up for 19 kilometres of racing under their wheels. Category 2 are coming up to the 17-kilometre mark. And Category 1, well, Fua, Soderstrom, Holdcroft, McCarthy, Velt and Bruni, they are leading the Category 1 race, coming up shortly at 14 kilometres of this 35-kilometre race today. So the chase is on behind. They are around 120 metres back, but Kolkowitz deciding to push on here. So on the descent, Kolkowitz using the momentum and pushing on hard to really try and push and close the gap. Marlene Bjarhed, the rider, with her behind. They've got a small gap back to Tidholm and McMahon. Giovanni behind them as well. But the gap to the leaders at the moment sitting at around 14 seconds. So 14 seconds separating the leaders in Category 1 from the Chasing 2. As the Chasing 2 continue to work, and I'm looking at the kilometres per hour at the moment, and well, the Category 1 leaders now on the flat section. Category 1 chasers still on the descent, and that's what's giving you the differential in pace at the moment. But it's going to be interesting to see whether those 2 riders can take the opportunity to close the gap. But the quality of that leading group, it's going to be a really hard task. Well, Brittany Lytton in this Category 2 race, she's in the mix here at 17.3 kilometres, and it's Lytton with Gorea, Paulson, Kong, Yaramillo and Thompson here. Lam Kong looking to me like we've got Stefania Sanchez and Lam Kong 15 seconds up the road. So this is the chasing group in Category 2. And we saw the split because we saw Hermansen and London really pushing on earlier on our screens, and it really has done some damage to this Category 2 pack. But Brittany Lytton well and truly in this chasing group here. So as our riders push on in Category 2, in Category 1, there's a push going on as well because, as we said earlier, this is a constantly rolling course. Short, sharp climbs everywhere. And at this point in time, it's 7% under the wheels as Fua and Soderstrom push on and try to break the group in Category 1. The group went clear on the second ascent of the Mushroom Grove climb. And now Fua and Soderstrom, well, they don't want any company. Bruni, McCarthy, Holcroft are chasing Velt in danger zone at the moment. She's 7 seconds back. I don't think Velt is going to make the juncture to this group, but Holcroft might just hold on. Can she? Well, at the moment, she is at 2 seconds from Bruni and McCarthy. They are at 2 seconds from Fua. And it's interesting to see Mika Soderstrom is leading the charge at the moment. But these 2 riders, Bruni, oh, look at the dig from McCarthy and Bruni. Absolutely adamant they're getting back on to the leading 2. So this is going to be a group of 4 riders because Bruni and McCarthy have dug deep. They've joined Fua and Soderstrom at the front of this Category 4 race. So the attack from Fua and Soderstrom. Oh, the group of 4 coming back together. But can Holcroft make it 5? She's at 6 seconds and she's continuing to push. Maria Holcroft continues to push on those pedals. She continues to tap. She wants back on to that leading group. Amelia Velt 3 seconds behind her. Well, Vel is closing in on Holdcroft. She can see her clearly in her sights. They're now on the descent at the moment. So this continually rolling and changing terrain at the moment really causing challenges for our riders to stay with the leading pack. So Velt at 2 seconds from Holdcroft. I think Amelia Velt is going to come onto the back wheel of Maria Holdcroft, and we're going to see these two riders work together. They've got a lot of work to do because Soderstrom, Fua, Bruni and McCarthy are 13 seconds up the road ahead, leading the Category 1 race at the moment. Well, the Category 1 race coming up for 17 kilometres. Category 2, they're at 19.6, and it's looking like we've got a chase on in Category 2 at the moment, and it is fast and furious because Hermansen is still on the front of that race. Van Shaw and London with Embring and Bonilla. It's becoming quite a large pack now of Category 2 riders. Category 3, comfortable group looking there. At over 21 kilometres of racing, and at 23.6, it's still our Category 4 leaders. 4 riders still clear. Hamilton, Idzik, Alzat and Vink, they're still at the front of the race at the moment. On the right-hand side of your screen, you can see them. They are indeed on the Future City climb. That's the final categorised climb of the day today. And our Category 4 leaders are well and truly on the way. Well, as Category 4 leaders go up the Future City climb, this is the Celestial Shores sprint that our Category 1 riders are moving through. And our leaders here, so Fua, Bruni, Soderstrom, 4 riders leading Category 1 at the moment. It's McCarthy that is in there as well. So these 4 riders are really pushing on at the moment. They've got 2 riders chasing them, and you can just see that on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. There's being separated by a blue jersey, a Category 3 rider. So Velt and Holdcroft are at 12 seconds. They are holding the gap at the moment on the leading 4. They are not extending the gap, but through that Celestial Shores sprint, the Category 2 riders, well, they were moving the quickest. You can see that because Hermansen London, Embring Van Shaw, Penner Walkenhurst, Davidson Bonilla, Gonzalez Rua and Marcel Smithers round out the top 10 in terms of the fastest times through that sprint section. Well, you need to keep your eyes peeled because this is live, and Joanna Tidholm in Category 1, one of the riders chasing, has just come through in 9th place through that sprint section. So telling me that she is on the move and she's wanting to pull back places and times in Category 1. So the leaders on the road on the right-hand side of your screen, the leaders in Category 1 on the left-hand side of your screen. Halzat, Idzik, Vink and Hamilton. These riders working strongly. Interesting, Katie Bago has been joined by the chasing group. So that chasing group has really swelled in numbers, but they are sat at around a minute back in Category 4. Well, this is the Future City climb, and you can see the different natures of this world in the MyWhoosh world. We've been through the Mushroom Grove, we've been through the Celestial Shores, we've been through the snow-covered Icelands. We are now in the Future City, and this is the Future City climb, just a 1 kilometre climb, and you can see these riders are coming to the top of it. They're going to come around the corner, and they're going to see the polka dot banner signifying the end of the climb. It's not done any damage to this group at all, and the 4 riders go through the final climb segment of the day. Now, it's 10.5 kilometres still to the finish line here. The Crimson Sands sprint comes at 29.6 kilometres, but it is a really interesting profile for the rest of this race, this final 10 kilometres. There is very little flat. It is constantly rolling, constantly changing terrain, and some very steep kickers coming in that last 5 kilometres. So I am expecting to see attacks, and I'm not expecting to see these groups necessarily go into the finish line together for a sprint, but Well, I've been known to have to eat my words before. So the leaders in Category 3 now starting to work their way well and truly through the Category 4 packs. And it's Rosalina Barragan leading the charge here on this climb at the moment. Category 3 leaders on the Future City climb. Barragan, Hadlock, Ellos, Johnson, Holweiler and Simkin all in this leading group as they leave that Category 4 pack behind. Rachel Kennedy is also in the mix here. So a strong group coming through from Category 3 on this climb. Interestingly, Nikki Lloyd setting the fastest time with Bogren and Tejeros Bagofilda in Category 4. The chase group coming up the climb quicker in Category 4 than the leading group. Well, is this going to be the same in Category 3? Are we going to see the chasers climbing stronger than the leaders in an effort to close down the gaps? But at the moment, Holweiler, Kennedy, Barragan, Simkin, Johnson and Hadlock, they are continuing to tap out a strong pace. De Silva, Vasquez and Ellos also in the mix. It's a huge lead group. It contains the polka dot skin suit. It contains the green skin suit as well in Category 3. And well, they are coming up towards and working their way through the leading groups in Category 4. And this is Alza, Idzik and Vink. Hamilton is there as well. There they are on your screen. Alza, Idzik and Hamilton. Just Vink, not part and parcel of the pack, but those three riders on your screens at the moment, all three of them part and parcel of the leading pack on the road at the moment. They're currently leading the Category 4 race. Phenomenal riding today from these Category 4 riders at 26 kilometres. They're 1,600 metres ahead of the leaders in Category 3, who started 5 minutes after Category 4. So the leading group in Category 3 going underneath the polka dot banner of the Future City climb. Confirmation coming very shortly of the time, but it's looking to me like we have 9 riders confirmed still in this leading group in Category 3. And Tanya Holweiler picking up the fastest time there, 2 minutes 23 seconds up the Future City climb. Leaders in Category 3 and the leaders in Category 4 now up the final climb of the day. And on the 10-kilometre run into the finish line, Category 2, well, they're not a long way behind, you know, moving into the Future City climb at 24 kilometres there, 1,000 metres behind the leaders in Category 3. Really pushing on. Now, I think what we need to do is take a look at the profile of the rest of this course, because this final 10.5 kilometres after this Future City climb really is technical. It is not a straightforward run into the finish by any chance. So the MyWhoosh World course, the first time the women have been on the MyWhoosh World for the Sunday Race Club, and you can see we have been through the Mushroom Grove climb twice. We've been through the Celestial Shores sprint. Now our riders are Future City climb and transitioning in that final 10.5 kilometres to the checkered flag at 35k. And you can see after the Future City climb, it is a constantly changing terrain. Short, sharp, steep ups, descents, constantly changing gradients. They'll go through the Crimson Sands sprint and then take a look at that final run in, that final 5 kilometres. Some really short, sharp, steep kickers that I think we are going to see riders attempt breakaways. Well, that is dependent upon whether they have anything left in their legs. So 35 kilometres of racing, 437 metres of climbing. But don't let that deceive you. That is not easy by a long shot. It may be one of the lower level climbs that we see in terms of elevation on the Women's Sunday Race Club, but it is not a straightforward course at all. So category 1 now coming on to those snowy outcrops on the Boardwalk Bridge at the moment. They're coming up for 23 kilometres into the race. They are the group of riders who have not yet ascended the Future City climb, but all of our other 3 race categories are up and over and into their last 10 kilometres of racing. Category 4 on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen at 28 kilometres now, continuing to push in this race. This leading group of 4 working really, really well together. Great to see these 4 riders still locked into that battle. Category 3 on the bottom left, it's still a big group, 9 riders in this leading group in category 3 as they continue to sweep their way through the futuristic city landscape at the moment. They are very, very shortly about to work their way into the top 10 on the road because, Petra Aiken is the next rider in their sights. She's a rider in 10th place at the moment in the category 4 race. And Ellos, Hadlock, Simkin and Johnson will indeed see her shortly. Rosalina Barragan leading this group in category 3. Holweiler, Johnson, Hadlock and Ellos all in the mix as well as they continue to push on towards the latter stages of this race. They're going to want to lose riders. 9 riders is going to be too many. Those riders are going to be sat in that group really thinking now, how do we shed some of these riders? There's 5 places on the podium today, 9 riders. Well, that doesn't quite work out. And Tanya Holweiler should be one of those riders thinking, right, what do we need to do now? How do we need to break this group and what can we do in these last few kilometres? Where's the right point to attack and who's going to put that attack in first? Well, Barragan, Johnson, Hadlock, De Silva, Ellos are all strong riders. And who is going to make the most of the terrain that is coming? Now, for some of our riders, a first-time course is harder to race purely because you don't know what tactics the other riders are going to use. You don't know who's strong on it. And until you have raced a course once, it's very hard to really work out the subtleties of how you might race it a second time. Now, we often see the race times for the second and third race on the course much quicker than the times on the first time out. But take a look at category 1 at the moment. They are really starting to move. Now, I'm taking a look at this. This is Holdcroft and Velt. These 2 riders, I think, well, they have done it. We saw Maria Holcroft and Amelia Velt earlier on in this race. They were 14 seconds back on the leading group. But congratulations to Holcroft and Velt because they have reeled the leaders back in. So Maria Holdcroft and Amelia Velt, phenomenal work from these 2 riders. They're coming up onto the back of some category 3 riders, but straight past them because it's the leaders in the category 1 race. The riders going round the bend in front of them that they want. And Holdcroft is working. She's digging so deep now because the pace is being pushed on. They're coming to the top of the climb, coming to the top of the Future City climb. And, Holdcroft and Velt have got to be setting the fastest time up there at the moment. And in fact, they do indeed. Maria Holdcroft setting the fastest time up the Future City climb. And that's because she's chasing and chasing hard. Well, Maria Holdcroft setting the time of 1 minute 59 seconds, so sub 2 minutes. In fact, the only rider, to go sub 2 minutes, Holdcroft and Velt. Bruni, McCarthy, Soderstrom and Fua, the leading group of 4 in the category 1 race, being caught on the climb. Superb job of bringing those 4 riders back in. Rounding out the top 10, Sarah Lundin setting the fastest time in category 2 with Van Shaw, Prado and Embring. Lisa Hermansen and Penner also coming through there as well. And I'll tell you something, it's not a huge gap back to the chase group now. What was the second chase group on the road in terms of, well, it still is technically the second chase group on the road because Holdcroft and Velt have just got a squeeze. They're just being held off now at 3 seconds. So Fua, Bruni, Soderstrom and McCarthy continuing to push over the top of the climb. They don't want those 2 riders to close, but Holdcroft and Velt, what teamwork together, those 2 riders to push on and close the gap down. Those 2 riders really, they if anybody deserves to get back on, they do. But the 4 riders up front of this Category 1 race are doing everything they can to not let those riders back into the mix. The gap now looking like it's going out again because Fua at the front really pushing on in terms of the pace. Now, the terrain here really causing some challenges in terms of the time gaps because of the constantly changing nature of it. So at the moment, Soderstrom, Fua, Bruni, this leading group in Category 1 on the ascent, is just shy of 4% at the moment. They'll go over the top and onto the flat and then into the descent. The riders behind are going to have to just keep working if they want to close this down. But I think now Soderstrom, Bruni, Fua and McCarthy are really aware of the danger from Holcroft and Veldt closing back down, and they're pretty much going to be adamant they will not let those riders back on and work to keep them out. Category 2 on the top right-hand side of your screen, Prado, Lundin, Embring, Hermansen are all there, and they really are working strongly. They are still at around 1 kilometre behind the leaders in Category 3. That is holding because Category 3 are still moving and moving strongly. They're just outside the top 10 on the road. Into the final 5 kilometres of the race are the Category 3 riders. That group of 9 riders that we saw last time still working strongly together. Well, the group of 4 riders that were at the front of the Category 4 race, they are now 3. Elevink has been dropped. Elevink now 5 seconds down on this leading group. Alzat, Hamilton and Idzik on the climb here at the moment. And you can see that gradient on the top right-hand corner of your screen. This is going to give you the notification of the terrain on the run-in and how it is constantly changing. Well, Kristen Hamilton doing a phenomenal job in that polka dot skin suit, signifying the strongest climber in Category 4. Alzat and Idzik are with her. And, well, they're very shortly coming up for 3 kilometres to go. Category 4 with now just over 3 kilometres to go. Category 3, I don't think they are going to make the catch here today, just sitting outside the top 10, but it's a big, strong group of 9 riders leading this Category 3 race. Barragan, Vasquez, Simkin, Holweiler and Elos all in the mix in that race field as they continue to transition towards the finish line. They are going to come up very, very shortly to a section of short, steep climbs. If that does not break this group, I don't think there's anything left on this parkour that will. Category 2 leaders pushing as well. They really are starting to sweep up the riders on the road. Category 4 riders, Category 3 riders, as this leading group in Category 2 continue to charge. And we can see the riders in all 4 of the race field categories here on our screens, working at the front of their respective races. Catherine Fua now pushing on in Category 1. The gradient constantly changing and making the most of it alongside the riders in the other leading groups. But these race fields so well matched. The quality and class of these women racing absolutely phenomenal, and the quality and class of the competition and the nature of that competition phenomenal week in and week out. So here go the leading group in Category 3. They've got 3.5 kilometres to go, and on the top right-hand corner of the screen, you can see the terrain now facing them. This is it. This is where the attacks need to come if they want to break away, because De Silva, Barragan, Hadlock, Holweiler, Vasquez, Simkin and Elos are all still in the mix here together in this race field. Now, Barragan is in the polka dot skin suit, signifying that she's the strongest climber so far on this course today. So can Rosalina Barragan continue to show us that climbing prowess and use it to break away from the group? Well, I'm sure Hadlock has got something to say about that as Angel Hadlock comes to the front of the group. You can see the climb coming up in front, and in fact the green skin suit of De Silva leading the sprint competition at the moment. She's the rider pushing on at the front here, so Aileen Francisco De Silva pushing on and currently leading the Category 3 race. Angel Hadlock is covering the move, but Hadlock is towing everybody back to De Silva's wheel as they hit this steep kicker at the moment. It's around 7.6, 7.8%, 8% now, 8.1, 8.2. It continues to kick, and this group still working together in Category 3 on the final stages of this course. Hadlock and Holweiler neck and neck trying to break the group. Rebecca Johnson moves up into third. De Silva and Barragan, but Barragan and De Silva are now at 2 seconds. And is Angel Hadlock making the most of this climb? Can she stay clear? Well, that is the million-dollar question, because can Angel Hadlock ride away from this group? I'm sure Holweiler and Johnson are going to say no, but she's got 2.5 kilometres. So Category 3 of 2.5 kilometres. Category 4 on the right-hand side of your screen have got 1,500 metres. And it's still Alzat, Idzik and Hamilton. 3 riders locked in the battle here. They're on a short descent at the moment, but the profile will continue to change on this final run into the finish. They've got 1,300 metres to go now. 3 riders in Category 4. They are going to battle for the win today. Category 4 on the right-hand side of your screen. Category 3 on the left. Angel Hadlock is now being chased by Rebecca Johnson and Holweiler. They are working together. Vasquez, De Silva and Barragan, well, they are only at 2 seconds. 2 seconds is nothing at the moment. It was a group of 9 riders in Category 3 in the leading group. Hadlock has pushed on the climb, and it's constantly changing the profile of this course. Can the others squeeze on the power and close the gap now? Johnson is the closest at 1 second. De Silva is now with her. So Barragan, De Silva, Johnson at 1 second. Vasquez, Holweiler, Simkin at 2 seconds. What has Angel Hadlock got in this final 1,700 metres in Category 3? Well, in Category 4, Kristen Hamilton, she's put the power down, she's put the push on. Kristen Hamilton, she's in the polka dot skin suit. She's really pushing on here now. She's got 700 metres to go. As the climb starts to kick here, it's about 6.4%, 8.9. We said these were really short, sharp, steep kickers, and Kristen Hamilton is using those climbing legs at the moment to try and break the group. But Alzat is having none of it, and neither is Idzik. Alzat and Idzik pushing on here, trying to close the gap down to Hamilton. Hamilton is going to run out of road. I don't think she's going to be able to extend the gap now. Alzat and Idzik closing down back onto Hamilton's wheel. With 500 metres to go, Alzat and Idzik go over the top of Kristen Hamilton. Hamilton having to find some reserves from somewhere. Can she bring them back? She's trying to kick. They've got 300 metres now for the run into the finish, but Alzat and Idzik are clear. Hamilton's closing it down. She's back on the wheels. These 3 riders neck and neck. They have battled for 35 kilometres, and Idzik now pushes. Idzik now goes. Hamilton pushes hard on her wheel. Hamilton pushes. Can Hamilton come over the top of Idzik? That's the banner. Hamilton's going to take this from Idzik. Kristen Hamilton takes it from Natalia Idzik. Isabel Alzat in third. Phenomenal racing in Category 4. Phenomenal effort from all 3 of those women. What a finish to Qualifier 1 on the Sunday Race Club. So following the 3-way sprint to the line in Category 4, Angel Hadlock has 4 seconds on the chasing group in Category 3. They're on the run now into the finish. Hadlock's got 600 metres to go. She's got 3 seconds now, and it's Johnson who's winding it up from behind. So Rebecca Johnson now pushing strongly from behind. So is Manuela Vasquez. Vasquez and Johnson pushing on, but Hadlock now at 3 seconds. Can they see her? Have they got enough road to make the catch? Well, Angel Hadlock continues to push. 400 metres to the banner. And as we've just seen in the Category 4 race, that banner comes really, really fast off of the corner. You don't see it till the very last minute, and getting your timing right is going to be absolutely crucial. So can Rosalina Barragan and Rebecca Johnson do anything about Angel Hadlock? They're 2 seconds back, but Hadlock kicks now with 100 metres to go. So Angel Hadlock kicking strongly. She wants this win. De Silva coming fast from behind. Aileen Francisco De Silva coming fast, but she's not coming fast enough because Angel Hadlock is going to take the win from De Silva, from Barragan, from Johnson and Vasquez. 1.7 seconds separating the top 5 in Category 3. Tanya Holweiler just off back of the pace there, coming through in 6th position. Well, Category 4 and Category 3 are in and through. This is Category 2, and it's Van Shaw and Hermansen. These 2 riders currently 8 seconds clear of Prado. Lundin a little bit further back. So it's Van Shaw and Hermansen who are coming in for the finish. They've got 100 metres to go. Who's going to open up the sprint? Van Shaw opens the sprint first. Can Hermansen respond? Oh, it's going to be Kelsey Jade Van Shaw coming through underneath the UCI banner to take first place from Lisa Hermansen in Category 2. Well, Van Shaw takes the win in Category 2 from Lisa Hermansen. Jermaine Prado comes through in 3rd place, just ahead of Sarah Lundin for 4th. Tiffany Penner, I think, is going to come through for 5th place today in Category 2. Yes, she does. Just ahead of Anna Embring. Well, the new MyWhoosh world is not disappointing for Qualifier 1 on the Sunday Race Club here on MyWhoosh today. And we still have 4 riders leading the Category 1 race. So Fuart, McCarthy, Bruni and Soderstrom have been locked together for some time now at the head of this Category 1 race. At one point we thought Velt and Holdcroft would join them, but Holdcroft and Velt got down to 3 seconds off of the back wheel of this leading group, and the leading group pushed on, and Velt and Holdcroft never made the juncture. Well, with 600 metres to go, this leading group of 4 now absolutely motoring, because Catherine Fuhr and Mika Soderstrom pushing on. In fact, it's Soderstrom pushing on at the front, not wanting to take this into a sprint like we've just seen. They've got 1,400 metres to go of constantly changing terrain as they continue to push, but it's Catherine Fuhr beaten by McCarthy last week when Mary-Kate McCarthy took her first win on the Sunday Race Club. So can McCarthy make it 2 in 2 weeks, or will Fuhr be back on top? But Fuhr and Bruni, Soderstrom and McCarthy, 4 riders now coming into the final 1,000 metres. So Velt and Holdcroft continuing to tap on those pedals. They're 500 metres back, 400 metres back on the leading group of 4 in this Category 1 race on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. This is Qualifier 1 in September, and it is not disappointing. Well, Fuhr, Soderstrom, McCarthy and Bruni still locked together at the moment. Mary-Kate McCarthy pushing here again. This gradient constantly changing up and down, rolling continually. Fuhr comes in and over the top. Mika Soderstrom is the rider at the back of this group of 3. In fact, it's looking like we are losing one of the 4 here. So Fuhr, Soderstrom and McCarthy. Mel Bruni need to pay close attention here. She's a second off the back. She's 2 seconds off the back. She's putting in a big sprint effort now, trying to get back onto the mix, but it's Fuhr and McCarthy on the front here. Soderstrom is here too, but Bruni, she's dropped by 2 seconds. So this now looks like 4 have become 3 with 400 metres to go. Catherine Fuhr launches the attack at 9 watts per kilo. Soderstrom responds. So does McCarthy. What have they got? Can they catch Fuhr? Catherine Fuhr is going to go around the bend at the moment with 300 metres to go. 200 metres to go. Catherine Fuhr kicks again at 10. So does McCarthy. McCarthy is coming. Can McCarthy catch Fuhr? That's the UCI banner. Catherine Fua is going to take the win today from Mary-Kate McCarthy into Mika Soderstrom's going to come through for third place today. Merle Bruni will come through for fourth. Phenomenal sprint there from Fua, taking the win in 53 minutes 47 seconds from Mary-Kate McCarthy, the opposite way round to the final last month. Well, Maria Holdcroft and Amelia Vell in side by side, chasing all race. Now they're side by side, battling for who goes under the banner first. And it's Amelia Velt who has opened the sprint up. But Holdcroft is coming. Holdcroft is coming at 10 watts per kilo. She's on the wheel of Velt. She's side by side. I think that it is going to be Velt that takes that. But no, it's Holdcroft. Maria Holdcroft just pipping Amelia Velt literally on the line as Colquitt's Engstrom and Bjarhead. Tidholm is there as well. This is sprint after sprint after sprint coming through for the minor places in the Category 1 race. Phenomenal racing today on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club here on the MyWhoosh World. Well, the results on your screen show Catherine Fua from the Sweat Centre win in 53 minutes 47.8 seconds, 1.2 seconds in front of Mary-Kate McCarthy. Mika Soderstrom just a little further back for third, and Merle Bruni taking fourth spot. Maria Holdcroft out sprinting Amelia Velt literally on the line, taking fifth today. Amelia Velt in sixth. Marlene Bjarhead coming through and winning that sprint for seventh place from Joanna Tidholm, Carolina Kolkowitz and Cornelia Engstrom rounding out the top 10. Then Van Hove. Van Shaw taking the win in Category 2 from Hermansen Prado, London Penna, Embring Rona and Bonilla. Category 3, well, that was Angel Hadlock from De Silva, Barragan, Johnson and Vasquez. And Category 4, it was Hamilton from Idzik, from Alzat and Vink. Superb racing today from all four of our race categories. The first time out on the MyWhoosh World on the Sunday Race Cup for our women. It's the men up next. If the women's race is anything to go by, that is going to be a cracker as well. Thank you very much for joining me today. My name's Emma Martin. You can find me at Biking Emma, and if you've enjoyed all of the action, head over to mywhoosh.com and jump on board. You can follow MyWhoosh on all those social media platforms and on YouTube and Twitch, where you'll get notifications of the next live broadcasts. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the racing here from Qualifier 1 from our women's race today. Join us shortly for the men's. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.